Welcome to episode 36, the first in the Boron storyline. Let's get started. Now, the very first thing that you want to do is you want to get in a ship that has a pilot. And in this case, I'm going to use the faction rep Boron ship, teleport there. And this is one of the rapiers that I set up. But it has a pilot, which is important because when you go into the Boron missions, you're going to be landing on a carrier and you're going to be given a free ship. Now, if you go in with a ship that doesn't have a pilot, then now you've got two ships with no pilots, and you can't pilot them both at the same time. And what the carrier will do is it will put one in internal storage, and you can't teleport to a ship in internal storage, which makes the whole thing a mess. So it's just best to go in with a pilot. So here's the fleet, all waiting for me for days to get around to coming with them. Should get a cutscene any second now.
Attendees. So many ships! I cannot believe we are actually here, ready to witness something truly historic.
The Terran Secret Service has been alerted to potential gate activity. The Intervention Corps has been ordered to undertake a threat assessment with regard to the potential impact on Sol territories. We can only guarantee everyone's safety as long as the expedition remains close to the intervention fleet. However, we advise everyone to stay clear of our firing arcs.
Initial scans indicate some activity. We will need to get closer for a more thorough read on the situation. Mission Specialist, approach the gate nacelle and interface with it to initialize a direct data stream for our onboard science team.
Affirmative. Approaching the jump gate. Activating scanner. Accessing nacelle.
Data stream is initialized. It looks like... Fall back. The energy is spiking.
Battle stations. Prepare to engage. Nothing? Well then. Intervention Corps. Prepare for traversal.
The expedition shall follow close behind. Mission Specialist, remain here and establish an outpost to derive a complete reading of the gate's coordinate data.
On it, sir. Godspeed, everyone.
Here we go.
Entering system. Watch
Here
full
we are.
gaze.
Preliminary scans indicate that this system is uninhabited. No sign of boron or any other kind of life, biological or artificial.
This cannot be true. Are you certain that the sensors are not malfunctioning? It has been so long. I really thought this might be the day I finally reconnect with my kin of the Fin.
Take heart, Boron Exile. You may yet be a step closer to your reunion. Explorer, we need some detailed system mapping. The task is in your hands. There is much to learn here.
Not the most exciting surprise, but preferable to the excitement of an unexpected Xenon enclave, I suppose.
Awaiting orders.
So the Telati just noped out. No one to trade with. You'll notice that there is a Boron ship in the distance, and there is also a jump gate. Oh yeah, there it is. Right there. See it? So you can see that from here. There's a bit of a poor design, I think, in one aspect of the Kingdom End DLC. And it's this. It's that the Boron starting scenario is not static. What I mean by that is that the Borons are in the simulation long before you open up this gate. And the consequence of that is that you get stuff like this. So you get ships that are in watchful gaze that shouldn't be in watchful gaze for the story. Because in the story, in the narrative, you come in here and it's an empty system. There's nothing here. and there's no boron, there's no sign of boron, and that's part of the narrative. But there's a boron right there. And so you have to excuse the oversight that Egosoft made in this case, which is to say that they really should have had the boron not doing anything until you open that gate, because then this system would be empty. So just ignore the fact that the boron are here, and that also there is a scale plate destroyer that is trying to attack it somehow. But we'll carry on.
Let us get this system mapped. Your ship's long-range scans will be of particular benefit to when exploring vast distances.
Yeah, see, that shouldn't be here. And if you came into the boron space right after a game start, like a fresh start,
Preliminary data has identified some points of potential interest.
then this wouldn't have been here. So just realize that. It is annoying. At least to me, it's annoying. I don't know how you feel about it, but yeah.
We are having trouble logging on to exact locations at this range. See if you can pinpoint them for us.
Oh, look at that. There we go.
And what is this? The ship seems to be in a salvageable condition. My guess is that it was likely abandoned not too long ago. Perhaps this new adjunct to the network is not quite as uninhabited as we thought. This is all very exciting. I will have to account for this when preparing for the next series of observations.
This is clearly a mining ship, but that's strange. As far as I can detect, there's really very little here to mine. All I can imagine is that the vessel came under an attack of some kind.
Pish tush! That is self-evidently incorrect. There is absolutely no sign of exterior damage. Yet that makes the mystery still more seductive.
All right, so you get out of your ship and you claim it.
Hello there.
Rapier.
Let me excavate the vessel's systems. Oh my goodness! These poor people are in desperate straits. They are veritably gnawing on the bones of this system for resources. According to the ship's logs, this vessel was cannibalized for parts to save the prospecting flotilla. Evidently, this system has long since been picked over, but they were gambling on some resources having been missed.
The Alliance has little use for a miner. Explore. Keep the ship. Do with it what you wish. Do not neglect to crew the vessel appropriately if you wish to make optimal use of it.
All right, so what I'm going to do, of course, is what he just said, which is to go into my personnel and then see who's a good captain, sort by star rating, and find the first person who's not a captain, that isn't a parented,
Can I help?
and tell him to work in the grouper as the captain. Assign. That will put somebody in this ship so that, yeah, see, there's somebody in there already. I don't know. I guess they can teleport over, but
Docking granted.
you don't have to give him any orders because he really needs a fix-up. And once you find the first Boron wharf, you can just send him there to get fit. Next thing you do, we're going to go to this yellow waypoint marker. I'm just going to turn music up for the Boron stuff because it's good music.
Hold on. I think I am picking up. Oh no, never mind that. Nothing of interest here. This system's peculiar conditions make getting accurate readings rather troublesome.
Newman Kayet, sir? Our team confirms that the Heretics End Gate does indeed contain the coordinates to the Kingdom End system. The timing cannot be coincidental, can it? Just after we received word from the Boron? Is it possible that their experiments were somehow related to the gate reinitialization?
Coordinates and timing are relevant, but not conclusive. The fact of the matter is that this is definitely not Kingdom End. Interstellar messenger drones are not the fastest form of communication. We do not know what has occurred on the Boron side since their last message. Theoretically, a connection between the two gates is possible, but that is just a theory. It could well be that the systems were linked in the distant past.
Yes. Unfortunately, a theoretical compatibility does not mean much in itself. If activating or reprogramming these gates were easy, I am certain I would have overcome the challenges long ago.
The split didn't exactly give you a choice over your research focus. Could this be the Boron? Could they really have unlocked jump gate technology?
Perhaps. Perhaps not. At this point, any further hypothesis will be mere speculation. Until we have more evidence, keep your ideas off general comms. If you must elaborate your theories, feel free to put them in writing.
See, because I'm a writer, I can see the little trick that they did there, where Namankrat says, if you want to keep talking about this stuff, keep it off open comms. That's not the real reason that he said that. The real reason he said that is because if he didn't say it, they'd be yapping forever. And we'd never get anything done. So it was basically the author of this story drawing that to a little arc to a conclusion.
Oh my! Could that be?
By the Trinity, a Boron vessel.
My instinct says we should take a closer look.
Let's do it.
Your ship's sensors are picking up a weak energy signature amongst the debris. Assistant, I think you should suit up and investigate.
Okay.
Hello.
Rapier.
See if you can repair the panel to gain access.
Now, one of my little quality of life mods has changed a tiny part of this particular mission. If I can find the way in. I can't remember exactly if it's this way or... Ah, yeah, it is. There it is. So there's like a box. It's like a luck box, really. And it's got some kind of mission data or something inside that your team will analyze. And in vanilla, you'd have to go inside the box and grab it. But because I have a, I think it's something that does loot magnets. It's like a better loot magnet. It makes me pick it up through the box, like even because it's close by. So you'll notice that I already have the thing. Collect the container.
Running decryption and reconstruction algorithm.
Yeah. See, it's not in
The
here.
data is woefully incomplete.
But that's because I've already got
this
it.
is an outpost of some manner. There are signs of an attack from several directions. It seems that the operators would have had little, if any, time to react. How frustratingly peculiar. I am forwarding all of this to our esteemed expedition commander. Perhaps he can garner more clues. I have my doubts, though.
You get this gigantic ship that was attacked, and they don't know what it was attacked by. And I don't think you ever find out either. It really couldn't be the cock because,
War. You
you
have
know.
an unidentified ship on an intercept trajectory.
Okay, so the unidentified ship coming is my favorite character in X4, which is Neela T. She's adorable, and she just has a personality that's really, really fun.
This is our first contact in the newly opened network. We have no idea of who they are, or their intentions. Investigate, and if possible make contact, but maintain vigilance.
Oh my! Aliens! Please, do not be afraid. I shall disengage my armament.
Piranha.
Greetings. I am so pleased to make your acquaintance.
Incredible! Finally, contact with our aquatic allies. Bosota, are you receiving this?
Moment, please. I am just finishing up some calculations.
What did you say? A boron? Truly? A living, buoyant boron? Are my ocular sensor organs deceiving me? Allow me to introduce myself. I am Bosota, and I can barely recall another boron face. I have been riven from my people for that long. Will you please deign to share your time with me?
I am Neela T, adventurer extraordinaire. I would be delighted to spend time with you.
As appointed delegate of the Alliance of the Word, please allow me to extend my greetings to you and your people. It is an honor to make your acquaintance, Neela T.
I do not have any official capacity as such, but it is marvelous to be seeing actual people from beyond the disconnected gates. How did you get here? Has a gate reopened? Are we connected once more? Oh, I knew it would have to happen eventually. What joyous news!
Momentous news indeed. Although we are less than clear on how this has occurred. There was speculation that the Boron triggered the gate reinitialization. Messages from your scientists indicated that they were working on such a task. Please, can you direct us towards Kingdom End?
You were in contact with Kingdom End? That is marvelous news. It has been decades since we were cut off. We have heard nothing in all that time. The severing of the connection with Nishala has been indescribably distressing for all of us.
My system is in profound turmoil. To meet a fellow Boron after all these years is an incandescent joy. But to find that you, too, are cut off from the homeworld is a misery.
More than you know, Bosota. We have all mourned this loss.
But without access to Kingdom End, your Queen and Parliament, how do you govern yourselves?
After the severance, there was a period of chaos. Until a royal steward was appointed, I have had dealings with him. It would be my pleasure to make an introduction.
We must make haste. There is much to be discussed with your leadership.
Follow me, you cavalcade of curious creatures.
A Boron society not headed by a queen? This is somewhat hard to fathom.
Indeed, Bosota. From your own experience, you understand the pain of separation. I doubt other species appreciate the biological depth of our harmonious societal interconnection. It was worse than it is now. It used to be that all our systems were isolated. Severed, not just from Kingdom End, the Queen, and homeworld Nishala, but also from each other. Fortunately, several of our systems reconnected to each other eventually, but none received word from home. Reorganization became a necessity. The provinces adrift, as we call ourselves, were only ever intended to be temporary, but under the Royal Steward, it has grown into a comprehensive governing body. But some of us have never given up on Kingdom End. Your communication with the homeworld is momentous in the extreme. Not a soul in these systems has found evidence of where the Kingdom End even still exists.
Goodness! A Terran-made ship. Surely this indicates that our reports are correct. The once dormant gate has indeed resumed its function and brought our province into alignment with our erstwhile allies. You must realize what this means. All the resources of the Commonwealth are now within reach. At long last, a chance to end the shortages. Pick up the pace.
You know, that's pretty
I must
cool.
warn you, the provinces adrift are not awash with the luxuries of the old kingdom. The pain of severance has been constant, but our economy has also suffered. The shortages of essential goods have cut deeply. Reconnection with the network may alleviate some of these issues, at least.
Notice that the Boron that came through the gate said, a Terran-made ship, and I am in a Terran Scout. And I've done this before in other ships, and they didn't say that. So they have custom dialogue depending on what you're flying. That's pretty impressive. All right, let's go through.
Entering system. Barren shores.
Let's you bring us guests, outsiders, with a fleet no less. What have you been up to?
More than that, Royal Steward, I bring momentous news. The fleet, this Paranid-led fleet, it came from the dormant gate in watchful gaze. They have communicated with Kingdom End. They have no Kingdom End gate, but they have communication. We are connected to the network once more.
My word, if...
The delegation seeks an audience. May I?
Yes, of course. There is so much to discuss, so much to consider.
Royal Steward, would it be in order for me to accompany the delegation?
I'm sure you have other things to do. Diplomacy is not the same thrill as exploration.
Please, Royal Steward, with your permission.
Of course, Neelity. By all means, accompany the delegation.
Explorer, you have displayed some usefulness thus far. I'm tasking you with joining us in meeting the Royal Steward. I may have need of your insights.
You have clearly made an impression on the expedition commander. I sense you are becoming more central to his plans. Join the delegation. Watch this Royal Steward. I have some experiments to attend to, though I shall keep an eye on you.
You hear that? I love these Boron sound effects. The thrum of the engine. That's really, really cool. Nice impact.
Docking granted. Successfully.
A Boron capital ship. In all my days. A perfect equilibrium of function and ergonomics. And with such flair. My current abode is penurious in comparison.
My ropalium near explodes with the joy of welcoming esteemed visitors. This historic occasion is the first of its kind. I am Leda V, Royal Steward of the Provinces Adrift. On behalf of Her Majesty the Queen, and as her loyal servant, it is my profound pleasure to welcome an emissary of the Paranid Empire. And once business is out of the way, I insist you join me on a more informal tour.
Esteemed Royal Steward Leda Wee, thank you for your most gracious welcome. You must forgive me. I, Numunkaret, am no Empire emissary. I represent the Alliance of the Word, a diplomatic forum and scientific organization funded by various races across the network.
My. But do you have letters patent from the Empire? The provinces adrift are in dire straits. We must negotiate terms of assistance.
I am compelled to reiterate, I do not speak for the Paranid authorities. Though we do bring news which may bring joy. We have been in communication with Kingdom End. Limited fragile communication, but communication nevertheless. Some months ago, we received word from your homeworld. It was heartening to discover that the Boron core has survived the shutdown, and learn of their most ambitious endeavor. Their entire scientific resources are focused on understanding and manipulating jump gate technology. We humbly request your permission to investigate the dormant jump gates in your territory, and to set up a scientific outpost in the region, should that be required.
There are so many implications to consider. This really is momentous. I am afraid I must decline your request, for now. We cannot be precipitous.
By the glistening waters of Nishala!
I fail to understand. We ask for no more than your permission. We certainly have no wish to be a drain on your resources.
Leda Wee, they are trying to connect us with Kingdom End. They have communications.
Neela T, this obsession with finding home is entirely yours. You may have the luxury of gallivanting around the galaxy in search of miracles, but I have responsibilities. I have the welfare of billions of souls to consider. Our guests have already made clear that the outside network, with all its resources, has been unable to connect with our homeworld. The priority at this juncture is the welfare of our people, and I shall not be distracted from that.
Honored host, we will of course expedite communications with the governments of the network. I am sure emissaries are preparing as we speak. Yet, if we could simply...
Enough, please. I understand your request, but I do not think you understand what is at stake. Please have patience, but for now, the matter is settled.
Outrageous! The Boron Queen's government itself is racing to reconnect, and you decline to facilitate? What kind of royal steward are you?
Please.
There is nothing to be gained from trading insults.
This is absurd. Our work is of the utmost importance. Your obduracy is beyond me. I shall take my leave. Heading to the dock, awaiting pickup.
That certainly could have gone better, but all may not be lost.
Indeed. The Royal Steward seems somewhat overwhelmed by the news. Maybe it's a good idea to just listen to him. Understanding his fears might help calm them.
When have you ever cared about that, Dal?
The steward and I have had our differences in the past, but I had no idea he would be so stubborn. I am so very sorry you had to witness that embarrassingly discordant display. Leda Wee and I disagree on much, but he is not a bad person. You know, he is just... scared.
Now, this particular mediation mission that you're on involves talking to all three of them, and the dialogue that you pick determines how they respond to you, but the outcome is always the same. It's just, I thought that it didn't matter. I thought that Lita Wee always gets mad at you. I don't know. The dialogue that I picked in my previous attempt got him quite upset, but you don't have to choose those.
Oh, you took note of that, did you? Time after time I approach Leader Wee for the resources to find our way back home, but he has come to the conclusion that efforts spent on this endeavor come at an immediate cost to our people. I would hate for you to get the impression that I do not care for my fellow Boron here. Out on the fringes, I am truly seeking to make a difference for the people. Serving the Queen's subjects is a duty for me. You see, I do not like to draw too much attention to it, but I myself am the progeny of stranded minor royals. Before you bow or anything like that, I am not part of the direct line of succession, and that is not how our monarchy works in any case. Yet, it drives me to find a path back home, for the people to once again delight in a reunited, merry realm.
See, stories need more characters like this. Right there. If you're a storyteller, make more characters like this. Do it. Because this fetish that people have these days in modern entertainment is just, I could rant for hours and hours about that. But making a good character is worth a lot. Just do that.
I think he is scared of falling short. He carries the weight of the expectations of the entire provinces. He wants to keep everyone safe, and I think he fears that your expedition will exacerbate an already dangerous situation. Yes, fraught with danger. The provinces lie uncomfortably close to Kark territory. When Sanctuary of Darkness first connected to the provinces, it triggered regular attacks. We barely managed to protect ourselves with the meager military that we could cobble together. Thankfully, the waves have calmed for now. The Kark incursions eventually ceased. All attempts to communicate with these enigmatic creatures have failed, so I would hesitate to call it a ceasefire. It is more of a lull in hostilities. As you can imagine, the situation remains rather fragile. Pleasant travels.
That bright light was the guppy jumping through a jump gate. See, we're actually in Great Reef at the moment, which is where I want to bring my traders while I'm thinking about it. These are full of hull parts, which you're going to need in a little bit. Ah, there's scale plate, always causing trouble. I wonder if these guys will take him out. Doesn't look like it.
Who does this fool think he is? Does he not understand the gravity of our mission? Withholding his consent? We shall continue without it if necessary. You may have a point. Perhaps his simple mind cannot grasp all the variables at play. I wonder if we can help him to see the bigger picture. Yes, you are right. That much is obvious. I cannot help but wonder if there's more to the issue than that. Perhaps he is overly attached to his role as Prime Administrator of the provinces. A reunion with King Demand would inevitably result in him having to relinquish power and standing. Ah, I understand. He is worried that our presence will stir up an infestation of the Chitterers. The Alliance of the Wood is certainly prepared to provide assurances that our investigation will not leave him exposed to Ka'ak attacks.
Okay.
Ah, the silent one from our disappointing introduction.
Yeah, don't choose this one first. You can choose it later. I think it comes back.
From time to time, I spend the waking nights pondering the very same question. It would be misleading to cast blame for all our miseries on the Great Shutdown. In fact, when we were first riven from the wider network, the vast majority of our Boron systems remained connected between themselves. isolated from external threats, we commenced a new age of reflection and scientific endeavor. And while this period of peace brought the wealth of Kingdom M to fabulous new heights, we were not complacent. Resources were stockpiled throughout the Queendom, a precautionary measure. Oh, we thought we were prepared, yet in truth we were far from it. We Boron are inherently connected to each other, you see. We thrive on a collective sort of innate affinity. Once that connection was severed, each system found itself in complete isolation. Things fell apart quite quickly, I'm afraid to say. Productivity collapsed catastrophically. Stockpiles were depleted far more rapidly than anticipated, and there was no way to replenish them. After years of disarray, Great Reef finally reconnected with barren shores. Later, it was joined by several other systems. The provinces adrift were founded, but by then the damage was done. We still lacked crucial resources. I contend that it was the collective psychological toll of the severance that caused this, more so than the evident logistical challenges posed by the shutdown. I regret my approach at our meeting. You see, I have not hosted a diplomatic function in decades. Unfortunately, I am simply not in the habit of communicating with anyone other than Boron, you see. We Boron converse amongst ourselves, relying on complex structures of pheromones, not just mere words. There was so much to communicate, so much to cogitate upon.
It does make you wonder how pheromones work if they're all in these pods. One would think that the ships would be filled with water and that they would just swim around inside of it and not... But that would make them considerably heavier, I suppose. That's one thing to consider. So it turns they'll have to be in spacesuits.
Yet the words failed to convey my meaning. You must imagine it like painting an ocean, yet having only a single shade of blue with which to do so.
So the dialogue options have changed.
You are correct, of course. There is no harm in reaching for common ground. I am embarrassed to say that our defensive capabilities are woefully inadequate. Ashamedly so. Our economy is so fractured, we struggle to construct anything larger, perhaps, than a frigate. We cannot even resource and operate a full-scale shipyard. For half a century of isolation, we Boron have had little need for a comprehensive military. I fear that we are wholly unprepared for the myriad dangers lurking beyond the gate. And should word spread of the valuable equipment and facilities proposed by the Alliance of the Word, it might be akin to painting a target upon ourselves for any nefarious actors in the vicinity.
It just occurred to me that I think there's a flaw in this narrative, which is to say that Lidui is afraid of the vulnerability that they would have from all of the nefarious actors on the other side of the gate network. And that is his justification for not wanting Namankret to try and connect them with Kingdom End? What? No. Kingdom End is their sanctuary, their home, and the gate to the rest of the network, the Commonwealth, and all of the pirates and dangers and Xenon and everything in there is already open. That Pandora's box cannot be reclosed. So Lidui is arguing on the basis that he doesn't want the dangers associated with that which has already taken place. He should be begging Namankret to help them open the gate to Kingdom End, which will actually reinforce the provinces adrift and help bolster them against all those other dangers. So this entire story, his justification for not wanting to proceed, is completely in error. And I just realized it. I had no... It just went over my head, and I think it went over everyone else's head too, who was working on this story, because they should have She should have thought of that. You... mhm. Okay.
I have, even now, received word of split incursions.
See?
If we had anything of value to loot, we would not be discussing skirmishes. They would descend upon us in hordes.
I think this is the one that gets him upset, actually. So, or this one. We aim to avoid provocation at all costs. Yeah, this is where you you suggest we just eradicate the cock, and they're like, but if you pick this option,
Your commendable commitment to peace is as welcome as it is unexpected. The Alliance of the Word is to be lauded for its respect for our peaceful ways.
and now it has this options. There was a different one yesterday. Boy, this is a complex cause and effect chain.
I am fully aware of Neela T's royal connections. Is it your opinion of me that I am some petty functionary who can be bought and sold, bribed by the highest bidder? You misjudge me, and you misjudge Neela T. For all our disagreements, I
There was a
cannot
different option.
conceive that she would be party to such a grubby approach. Of course I desire the return of the provinces adrift to the warm embrace of the homeworld. But what kind of servant would I be if I did so at the expense of the welfare of those under my charge? This is all terribly challenging. My instinct is that your expedition is honest in its intent. However, I find your judgment questionable. Well, I feel that I must allow you to proceed in your mission. However, I ask of you, do not make me regret this.
That's different dialogue than I got
The
yesterday.
watchful gaze reactivated. To our knowledge, only 3 more dormant gates remain in province space. One is located in Ocean of Fantasy, another in Barren Shores. The final one was discovered by scouts in Sanctuary of Darkness. If Sanctuary of Darkness sounds foreboding, you may find that the name is fitting. It is host to a significant Ka'ak infestation. Urgh. Even uttering the name makes my fins tingle. Yet I must remain firm on the matter. Do not, under any circumstances, engage with the Ka'ak. Every interaction with them results in horrific conflict.
You have our word, Leader Wee. We shall do everything in our power to avoid undue provocation.
Thank you. And may I bestow upon you a gift?
Yeah, different dialogue options this time. Even yesterday it was different. So it is a complex set of
We have
dialogue.
prepared for you a fighter ship. A humble gift, but hopefully it will be of use to you in the times ahead.
Explorer, you have done well to secure access for us to continue our mission. Please, claim the scout ship as your own. May it serve you well.
Just check real quick. Perseus Vanguard. Oh, there's Conk
Hello
in the
there.
Heretic's End. Oh dear. See, why is there a hive guard next to headquarters? I took out the cock. So what I'll do is I'm gonna put the home defense back on reaction force. I'll just have the defense lead attack this cock here, because otherwise they're gonna just keep harassing my stuff. Can't have that.
Awaiting orders.
Awaiting orders.
So this is the
Awaiting
fighter they give you,
orders.
and you'll notice that my scout is still here, and now I've got this thing. You get into it
Marco.
by using this, which opens the lift. Hop on, go up.
Awaiting orders. We need to investigate the dormant gates to formulate the next step of our expedition.
I am already familiar with the gate in Ocean of Fantasy. If you supply me with the necessary equipment and provide me with a few pointers as to what exactly I am to do, it would be my deepest pleasure to assist.
Excellent. The Alliance shall investigate Boron Shores. That only leaves the matter of the final gate, the location of which is somewhat more precarious. Explorer, you have excelled thus far. Put that new fighter of yours to good use, and find Sanctuary of Darkness. It seems that you are best suited to this task.
All the times I dreamt of being reunited with my fellow Boron, it never crossed my mind that they might be in such impoverished circumstances. I know that the Alliance has received communications from Kingdom End, but those were dispatched decades ago. Hopefully, they have fared better than the Boron here. I am curious about the contents of their message. Just how much of their preliminary findings have they shared with their Alliance counterparts? Once we have gained access to both Gates' data, maybe the Alliance really intends to conduct experiments from our side too. Trying to manipulate Gates would be an incredibly involved undertaking. Yet it seems as though Numankaret is single-minded about the whole endeavor. Can you imagine the possibilities that would be open to us if we could manipulate these Gates at will?
Thanks to the newly opened trade routes, we have commenced rebuilding our shipyard. You are, of course, most welcome to aid us in our undertaking. Your efforts will, of course, be lucratively compensated.
So what that was just now was the offer for this mission, Provinces Adrift Construction Aid. And they'll give you pretty good profit for delivering these basic parts. So you accept that, and it becomes active as all missions do when you first accept them. The first thing that I'm going to do is deliver as many hull parts as I can. And you'll notice that the station itself is right here. And so what you do is have these hull parts already waiting. So there's the Boron shipyard. We'll take 2 for 1 and trade with build storage with all the hull parts over. Then go back to the hull part factory to get more and then drop those off as well. Then we take 2 for 2 and do the same thing and then fly back to the hull part factory and wait for there to be more hull parts constructed. So you can already see from the trade offers that there's only now 18,000 hull parts to make. Lots of energy cells. I can probably deliver those too. I'll get those from headquarters because I've got plenty, and that will satisfy most of their energy cell need. They're still going to need a lot of Claytronics, but I'm not making those and they are hard to find, so we'll see how that goes later. And water? I don't even know where you get water, so we'll let that go until we explore further. And of course, don't forget to put your mission back to blazing the trail.
Entering system. Sanctuary of Darkness.
Sanctuary of Darkness. According to our archives, there was once a Xenon presence hereabouts in the network. I wonder what befell them.
So we made it to Sanctuary of Darkness. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.